Yo, what up, YouTube? Today it's Vove Bank and your dog Vove Sooner here talking about the infamous 250 like tweet that got Vove Sooner on the team. It's kind of an open dialogue discussion. Leave your comments and questions in the responses below, and we might reply back with another video, maybe weekly.
Ooh.
And I'm going to toss over to Sooner here. He's going to do a little introduction of himself.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? So I am Vove Sooner, as most people know me around the community, and joined the team probably about a month and a half ago, right? Is that the time frame that we're in right now? I think about a month and a half ago that I joined the team, and I'm super stoked. Be working with Bank on a lot of business development things for the team. Myself, I've been a gamer for years, just like a lot of other people out there. I grew up on Nintendo games like The Legend of Zelda. I grew up on Xbox and Halo. That's like my all-time favorite franchise. So if anybody ever wants to hop on the sticks and 1v1 me, I'll probably beat you. Aside from that, I've taken a really big interest in the gaming side and the kind of a lot of the back end stuff. You're going to hear the phrase back end a lot in this video, but I've taken a liking to that sort of stuff because that's something that I think suits a lot of the skills that I have. I create my own content and I can edit my own videos and I can do all this other sort of stuff, but supporting other people, I think, is where my skill set kind of comes into play, and kind of is a lot of what I can do. So I'm excited to be on the team. I'm excited to be here. I know that I'm not your traditional content creator. I'm not your traditional pickup with a team, or how you would see a team pick somebody up to add them on. But hopefully this video can help shed a little bit of light as to why I'm here and a lot of the things that we're working on behind the scenes that maybe you guys won't see from the outside. So I'm excited to dig into it, brother.
All right, I'm gonna put us back on dual screen here. Sooner,
talk to me.
Why I chose you? All right, this is something that I think we talked about a little bit. I know I talked to some other people about this a little bit. I had heard your name quite a bit in the gaming space. I watched Biggie. I watched Big Rob. I've seen you around. I followed you on Instagram. I think we started we started our initial conversations there, and then I kind of like just listened in the background. I was a shadow for a little bit on you. I got some information from some people, and I kind of saw you started editing for Biggie. You're a big mod for him. Been there for like what, 3 years almost doing that now? 2 years?
Oh yeah, probably at least 2 years, probably more than that at this point. I've been a part of that community for almost 4.
Okay,
it's been a while. And
then I saw we talked one night through like DMs, I believe, in my chat, in my stream chat, we talked about, you said, oh yeah, I have interests in, helping run an organization, modeling creators and personnel management for future development of the people. That's kind of where I was like, oh my God, I see a position on Team Vove for this guy because I want to do that with the team. When I first got on the team, there wasn't a lot of structure. It was just creators creating, doing their thing. We had editors, designers, but we didn't have any people like really steering the business in the direction we needed to go. And that's where I saw you. We talked a couple times. I got your interest, and I was like, Hirsch, can I pick somebody up? And he's like, no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it publicly. And I said, hey, at Hirsch TV, how many likes to pick somebody up? And he's like, 250 likes. So I did it, and it took us like 4 or 5 days, maybe 4 days to get the likes.
Yeah. I feel like it was like a peak and valley type thing. Like right when you tweeted it, the like count kind of started rising pretty rapidly. Then it settled in just a little bit, and then like you and a couple other people made a push in like days 3 or 4, and it like shot up really quickly.
Yeah. So like initially within the first hour, I think we hit 60 likes on there, and then it plateaued at like 65 for a while. I was like, oh my God, we're losing steam. Day 2, we went up to maybe like 80, 85. Then day 3, I retweeted it, and I was like, guys, this is real. Like, this is not a joke. And I talked about it on my stream. Hirsch talked about it on his stream. Then the Team Vove account got verified in the middle of this
Yes, that's right.
And then they retweeted it, and we went to 248 or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, please, like, I'll make 2 accounts just to like this tweet. And
like, come on, man.
We did it. And I was like, you know, that's huge. Like, and here we are.
We made it. So here's kind of the interesting thing, and this is kind of one of the things that I talk about a lot. I've had conversations with people throughout the years who kind of think in the same manner that I do, and this is a lot of what I believe is that, you know, part of the reason that I have the interest that I do within this space, part of the reason that I've picked up, you know, some jobs and you know, worked on some different opportunities with creators. You mentioned Biggie, you know, there's a couple other folks that I've done edits for or modding for or whatever. Again, because it's my skill set kind of suits that, right? I understand that at the end of the day, being a full-time content creator is probably not for me. And that's not to say that I couldn't do it. That's not to say that I don't have the capabilities to do it. It's saying that it's a realization that my strengths play more to what I'm doing now versus trying to force myself to become a content creator or force myself to do something like this full time. Right. So I think that's where, you know, when you and I started talking about a lot of this and where I kind of started those initial conversations, it was more of like, I understood that you were one of the people within Team Vove that was working on a lot of these, again, we're going to use the back end term here, a lot of these back end things, right? You were working on trying to structure the team and create direction for the team and, you know, work on deliverables and actionable items and things like that. And I was like, I want to have even just a philosophical conversation of where your head's at, what you look for, what you're trying to work towards, whether it's short-term goals, long-term goals, or all of the above, right? And so as we were talking about it is when it got my head turning a little bit more that like I had a pinned tweet that says like, that's my place in this space is doing program and business development for a team, for creators, for whatever it is. I like to think of myself as like a teacher more than an actual creator at the end of the day, because I think that that's just what I enjoy doing. And so that's where this opportunity and my position on the team now, I think, is what really shines to me, because there's probably not a lot of people who are thinking about it this way. And I'm bringing that full circle to say that I think it takes a lot of a person to admit or to realize that even though their passion is within this space, being a content creator may not be the right move. And I don't say that to put anybody down. I don't say that, you know, to even to put myself down, because I realize that. But I've realized that I'm not going to be a full-time content creator, but my passions for this space can be directed in other areas. And so that's a message that I always like to pass on to everybody else is, you know, realize your strengths and weaknesses and how you can use them. And if you think that you could be better suited to help somebody else out or to be a part of a team, you know, in a team dynamic to help elevate everyone else around you, then that's going to do, I think, leaps and bounds more for your brand than you would be just, you know, grinding 13-hour streams every day on Twitch or on YouTube or Facebook or MySpace or whatever it is. So
yeah, and I kind of felt that same realization, and that's like, I mean, I love creating content, straight up. I love doing it. I think I know I could do it full time, but I don't necessarily want to. Because I see the value in, you know, like you said, teaching people, B, developing something, and I want to be a part of something like this. So when I got on Team Vove for the first little bit there, I was like, well, I love creating content. Let's do it. And then I saw a need, and I was like, I can fill that hole. But I can't do it alone forever, because I know what's about to happen. I knew that like the steps in place where Team Vove was going to go, because I had seen it and I had been pushing it that direction with obviously Hirsch, Gray, Freak, all these people. They all want the same thing. Everybody wants to do this forever, right? So make it sustainable. And that's where I see people like you and I fit in, is to create the plan, execute on the plan, build the holes where they need to be. You know, you can't have a sinking ship with everybody. You could have the best sailors in the world. You get a hole in your boat, you're screwed.
Yep.
You know, and not everybody's meant to create content monetarily. Everybody can create content for free, but if you want to get there, that's a next step of having people like us behind the scenes to make those things happen.
And I think that's something that not a lot of people realize goes into this behind the scenes dynamic of how a team is set up, right? Anyone can go out there. You can do the research. You'll probably see it more on sites like LinkedIn, but you'll see it obviously on Twitter too. Where there's larger teams out there. I won't even bother naming them because everybody knows them at this point. But there's larger teams out there who have people who are just like you and I. People who are doing business development, program management, partnership development, people who are in charge of personnel and people who are in charge of, creative direction of the team and so on and so forth. And so, this is just, Bank and I are laying the foundation for the structure and purpose and direction of how this team is going. And that's not to say that wasn't there before, but we're the people who are in charge of like actually laying everything down, writing it out, creating actual, business plans, if you want to think about it in that manner. So, I think that's something that maybe caught people off guard. I would even say that, with me joining the team, there's probably still not a whole lot of people out there who know who I am, and that's okay. I probably could do a better job of marketing myself in certain manners, but, having somebody like me is going to help give a lot more validity to the people you see creating content for the team and for themselves. And at the end of the day, bringing somebody like me on, or at least having my position with somebody fulfilling that and creating that drive is what's really going to propel the team to the next level. So instead of shooting for the moon, we're going to friggin' Pluto. Going, is Pluto even still a planet?
No,
what's the consensus on that?
I've seen the Rick and Morty episode. I know it's not a planet.
Okay, so we're going to Jupiter. Let's just put it at Jupiter for right now.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like every content creator that has quote unquote made it, either A, signs with a management firm or hires somebody to manage them. Sooner and I are pretty much the management of Team Vove. There's the creators that create. Yes, we still create, but not to the same level. There's the owner who owns. There's designers who design and edit and all this other stuff. But you can't have that sustainability and direction without management. That's a simple way to put it. So if you're a creator out there that like either A, questioned why we picked up Sooner, or B, doesn't really fully understand why you need somebody like Sooner, think of it this way. Don't have a management team behind you. You're missing out on opportunities you can't get because you don't know how to do it. You're missing out on some sort of leadership and direction from a content person. Just like there's the whole other aspect of that. Creating content, yes, you can get a Twitch payout no matter what, a YouTube payout, all these things, but what about applying that payout to something else? How do you structure the future of your content if you don't know if it's going to be there? Because either A, Twitch is so up and down when it comes to payouts because you don't know if you're going to do well next month. Sustainability, all these things like that, monetarily and I guess retention of creators is huge. Not everybody has to think about retention of creators because if it's just you, it's retention of yourself, and that's where the motivation and determination to do this comes in. But if you're like Sooner and I, we have to now we're overseeing other leaders, other creators, and all these other things to retain these people so it stays in place. So,
yeah, I'm glad you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think the biggest thing about like what we are doing is sustainability. You're not environmental sustainability, guys. Sustainability as in people's livelihoods are going to rely on this at one point, whether it be our partners or our sponsors or our individual creators. But a lot of people are 2 feet in. If you're not 2 feet in, I mean, get out of the pool. Like, that's simple. People are going to start relying on this in the future.
Yeah. So two things that I found really interesting. One funny and one interesting. So you literally just said environmental sustainability. That's my degree. I don't know if anybody out there knows that. Literally, like I'm looking at my diploma up on my wall, and that's what it is. It's environmental sustainability with a focus in planning and management. And here I am doing gaming stuff.
Sustainability.
So anyways, I found it very interesting that you mentioned a very, very big key word that is near and dear to me, because it was in an environment that I lived and breathed for 5 years. And the job previous to the one I have right now is I was working as a staff member at a major university. And so retention is something in higher education that's preached all over the place. Like, the goal of every major college is to retain the students they have. You want to make sure that your freshman to sophomore to junior to senior, that retention rate stays as consistent as possible from the top down. You don't want people transferring or dropping out or anything like that. Look, at the end of the day, colleges, whether they're state or especially private ones, they're all being run and have a budget and a revenue source and income and all that sort of stuff. So obviously they want to retain people because they want to keep the money. But retaining students, helps with a lot of other things. And we don't need to get into the details of that. But retention is absolutely the key phrase here, because we want to make sure that, we're retaining a lot of what we're doing. We're retaining not only the people that have joined this team, we're retaining the level of content that we've established for ourselves and continuing to push that to higher levels. We're retaining the partnerships that we've gained. We're retaining just all of these different things. And Bank even said it too. You want to make sure that as a creator, you're retaining and maintaining, your individual content. And you're going to get to a point as you keep growing and as you see things go up, whether it's your YouTube numbers or your TikTok numbers or whatever it is, as that stuff goes up, you kind of have to get into overdrive a little bit. And then there's a breaking point where some people might say, hey, I need to hire an editor. I need to hire a designer. I need to hire somebody to help me out with these things. And I'll tell you right now, anybody out there who is in the streaming or the YouTube game or both, who is pushing 6 figures, has an individual team, or like Bank said, a management firm that works with them. This is something that is an industry standard here. So, not to obviously beat that point any more than we already have, but again, this is the direction that Vove is moving in. And I've realized that over my time here on the team. I know Banks obviously realized that for the 8+ months that he's been a part of the team. And so, you'll see Vove continue to make moves like this to help support the back end and the front end, to help develop the team to take us to new heights.
Yeah. And one thing I think about too is, like, so Sooner and I are focusing on the team right now, but when the team is a foundation, obviously, to the future of these creators on the team right now. Mm-hmm. But the sustainability of the team, aka retention of members, creates a culture and a family environment. So if you pick up 10 people right now, and these 10 people stay and they work their ass off and they create this sort of bond and this family atmosphere, the next person that comes and joins the team in 2 months or a year automatically welcomes that culture that's working. So if we can work to build the foundation, work to set the business in place, create the foundation, I said foundation twice, but create the culture, then it's just a steam engine that you can't stop. FaZe built a culture, for example. They built the culture, then they picked up G Fuel. They got the G Fuel house. They did all these things. Obviously team houses are few and far between now, but that culture was what built that team and the hype around it. But you can't do that unless you can either A, pay for it, and B, know that it's going to be there in 1 year, 6 months, 3 months. All this stuff can disappear.
Yep.
Twitch the whole website could get shut down tomorrow, and how many creators that don't have a management firm or don't have a business plan in place are gonna just fizzle out and have to find a job. Either A, don't have any skills, have no like personnel development and personal development like we're trying to do with the creators on the team right now. Just pick up something.
Yeah,
because technically,
I think it was.
No, go ahead. I'll wait till after you're done.
I think it was. There was a podcast that was done couple couple months ago, I want to say, and it was with it was Biggie and Badbear Gamer, for everybody out there who knows who the two of them are. Obviously bigger creators in the space. They've both been around for a hot minute. You know, kind of came out of different areas of the creative space, but both have great names for what they do. But they did a podcast together, and Badbear started bringing up a lot of points about the time that he went full time with his you know, with streaming and content creation, basically, right? And so he's a very business-minded person, and I absolutely love what he has to say and respect him for that. But he sat down on the podcast and said, when I went full-time, when he lost his job, I'm probably paraphrasing here, but you know, he basically sat down and figured out every bit and point of contact that he could make with an audience to try and gain, or rather to try and grow the audience. Right. And that was his business plan. He literally said that was his business plan. You know, he has outlets like Twitch, which was an obvious start. That's where he streams. He's got YouTube. That's an obvious place that he puts his VODs, he puts his videos, whatever. But then he's got things like TikTok. He's got Instagram. He's got Facebook. He's got, you know, all of these other areas that were individual sources of, you know, his ability to create, but they were all one aggregate umbrella that he could use to, you know, to help get his name out there and grow his community. And I think Badbear's been incredibly successful at what he's done. I mean, he went from, you know, doing a lot of TikTok stuff, you know, kicking up streaming, kicking up YouTube. I don't know if it was in that particular order, but that was the order I noticed it. And then he went full time. He got Twitch partner. I mean, you know, he got signed on with Gnosis. He started a podcast with Sweet Tales. I mean, he's killing it, and it's awesome. But all of that to say that business plan is what really helps creators to try and grow. So the thing that I would encourage everybody here is, you know, to kind of sit down and evaluate what you are doing individually. If you're putting all your time into Twitch, I will tell you right now, you need to pull back and you need to find another outlet, whether that's TikTok or Twitter or YouTube, whatever it happens to be. I think YouTube is definitely the future for a lot of people, and there's still a lot of power behind YouTube. But, you know, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, I would advise you right now, that is not the move. That is not the move that I would ever suggest to anybody. You know, you got to work on diversifying yourself, and that's part of that business plan. Yep.
I see how some creators do it without a business plan, but it's not, you can't do that anymore. Like you could do that like maybe 5 years ago, but not anymore.
Yep.
The biggest thing to take away is you can't do this without people in the back end doing things for you or for a team. And that's why Sooner and I are teaming up on Team Vove as the business team behind the team.
Here we are. Now what do we do?
Well, now what we do is we are pursuing partnerships, sponsorships for the team to create that sustainable, not only sustainable income, as in like, you know, stipends or codes or something like that, but also, you know, content incomes, because you can use content from, you know, partnership products, all sorts of stuff like that. But also, you know, growing the network of the team, relationships, networking again, but networking is very important when it comes to a team-oriented environment. We're going to be elevating our content creators up the next level by enabling people on the team to be leaders, such as, you know, a creative team lead, a design team lead. There will be more leads and so on and so forth, but basically just creating order, sustainable environment, retention, and culture. That's the only way I can put it. I mean, I know you can add more to it, but what do you got? What do you think we do? Because we don't even know what we're going to do. We don't know 100% what we're going to do.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Well, I mean, how many gaming teams have you been the business lead on?
None.
Same.
Here we are. It's kind of cool because, you know, back when we were having this discussion, you were like, we don't have anybody that does what we're talking about here. So as literally the idea that I had when you and I were talking, and the idea and position I sit at right now at the time of recording, August 18th, are different. There's some relatable things, but they're different, 100%. Right? And we're slowly realizing that as we go through this, like, you know, there's different ways we can go, or different directions, or different things that we can pull in, right? And so it's a fun challenge for me too, and probably for you, I would venture to say, because, you know, we can sit here and say, oh wait, that's a problem, we have a solution. Oh wait, what if we did this like this, and then it would lead to this, and then, you know, so, you know, we go further down the rabbit hole. It's like clicking on YouTube videos all night until you're up till 2 friggin' a.m.
Well, I mean,
right?
The simple way to put it is like, we're problem solvers, opportunity finders, and we're 2 bearded badasses.
Hey, honestly, give me a business card that says that, and I'll be set for friggin' life. I'm telling you right now.
If looking at this whole situation from 30,000 feet up in the air, if we see a problem, we're gonna fix it. If we see an opportunity, we're gonna grab it. We both have beards. I don't know what else to say.
Honestly, there is nothing else to say. You know, that's what we do. And so I think, you know, a lot of the next steps are literally what we just talked about. You know, we're trying to find those next opportunities for the team and put the team in a position to grow. Obviously getting the rest of the team's input, because that's very valuable to us, but structuring the team and the culture and the environment to make sure that, you know, if a new partner approached us today, which, hey, if you're out there watching this video, I'd love to talk to you. Slide into my DMs. My Twitter or something will probably be down below or in the screen or something like that. And, you know, do banks too. But, you know, we want to set everything up to, you know, to where somebody can come to us, or we can talk to somebody else. Bank, what's the one thing I've told you and how I like to approach things? Everything's on the table, and we just want to open the dialogue. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you didn't listen to Sooner, but you listen to me, down below is my Twitter link and all that stuff. You know, hit me up. Let's start a dialogue. I want to get to know you, and you know what we can do together.
But mainly get to know you.
Mainly get to know you.
Yeah.
And what can I do for you?
Easy enough. Step into my office.
Oh, I actually do have an office.
I don't. Can I have an office?
I can make you an office.
Hell yeah.
Maybe.
Damn.
I mean, I mean, I know we're kind of on time here, but like, we're gonna do this. Sooner and I are gonna make sure this happens. If you're a creator that wants to join Team Vove right now, trust the process. Trust us too to make it happen. There's always a plan, and this one's a business plan.
Yep. And I would say for anybody out there, there's already a lot of people who have approached me. Bank, I don't know if anybody's approached you. We haven't really talked about it, but there's a handful of people that are within the Vove community that are part of the Vovement, if you will, hashtag it so you know that it's real, that have approached me and asked for pieces of advice, or asked for, you know, different pieces of feedback on either their content or how they would do something, or how to, you know, structure something, whatever. I'm always more than happy to do that. Like, I will put myself out there right now. Usually if you are in the Team Vove Discord, you can usually find me on Discord. I'm always on and logged on here. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. I'd be more than happy to help answer them. You know, if I end up getting a lot of DMs, which sometimes I do, if I don't respond right away, trust the process. I will get to you, I promise. But, you know, I'm always willing to help. Again, that's the teacher in me. I want to help with that, provide feedback, and ultimately help put you in a better position with the knowledge I can give. And whatever you decide to take so that, you know, you can put yourself in a better position just to be a better creator. And whether that's the ultimate goal of joining Team Vove or the ultimate goal of just being a better creator, you know, I want to help how I can.
Let's create something huge. And if you're watching this, you made it this far in the video, you are a part of something huge because of what you just watched. And whether you take away some advice or some direction for your own content from this video, just know that we are going to create something huge that's going to be talked about for a long time. Thank you guys for watching the kind of like the open dialogue rundown interview with Sooner and I about why he was the right fit for the team at the time that I chose with a tweet pickup that I had. Guys, trust the process. Be a part of the culture. Be a part of the community. Something huge is about to happen. You'll know more in the future weeks, months, maybe within a year. But Trust the Vove man.